Thank you so much, Sastha. It is my privilege and honor to introduce the next speaker for today, DTM Sateesh. Thank God it's Thursday. Thank God it's Thursday. DTM Sateesh.
John was working for a large financial institution, and his job was to create a huge, complex document storage system which he built himself and part of the team. Because of this complexity and the necessity of the system to be available all the time, he was expected to be available on work for 7 days a week, 24 hours and 365 days. It was good for his job security, but not for his family life. John has 2 wonderful children, and he wanted to be that hands-on dad who spent most of his time along with his family and children on their everyday life. Do you remember seeing John in any of your team or in your office? Thank you so much. Good morning, my dear fellow Toastmasters and the guest. I welcome you all for this board meeting where I am going to present the solution for this so-called problem. Change from a week-long work into a 4-day work week. Today I am going to present the analysis as well as my experience about this 4-day work week, how it is going to make as a working culture in the coming days. Based on a research done by a New Zealand financial firm, Perpetual Guardian, they were shocked to see their behavior of their workforce because they read a startling statistics. An employee is effective only for 2.5 hours in a given day. Have you heard about it? Do you think what could be the reasons?
Stress levels.
Stress levels.
Cafeterias.
Cafeteria, demotivation.
Mobile chats. Mobile chats.
Mobile.
Social media.
Comfortable family background.
Comfortable family background. Thank you. So the survey says 83% of employees are suffering from work-related stress. It comes from a national health board which says 83% of employees are suffering from the stress levels. This is not only deteriorating the productivity of the employee, but also their personal habits. For example, their eating habits, sleeping habits, and their working out, everything get affected. The stress levels are impacting on the outcome of an individual also, because the employees who are overworked tend to make mistakes more comparing to the less workers, as well as their decision making skills, cognitive skills and relations are getting deteriorated. That's when this New Zealand firm has decided, let's find a solution to make changes to this problem. They decided to provide a 4-day work week for their employees with the same salary of a 5 days work. They started seeing changes step by step. They started interacting with few departments and few functions overall. Finally, it did not took them longer time. Within 12 months, they started seeing a huge change, and there was an increase of 40% in their employee engagement, and there are reduction of 15% of stress level among the employees. The moment they started seeing the change, they wanted to deploy this for the entire organization on an employee on his own, rather than forcing on them to take it up. So almost 80% of the employees has taken this 4-day work week initiative. Not only that, they started feeling that their deliverables are started increasing. To add with one more research I studied and understood was, there is a company called Wildbit, which was 100% remotely operated software firm. They were into the 3rd year of implementing their 4-day work week, and when they started seeing the differences for the past 2 years and the 3rd year, they started realizing that there is a huge difference in the way how they manage their products, as not just as a work for a work shake, to convert into a working with a real purpose. They started seeing the huge change in the way they were doing the work comparing the previous years. They also felt there was a phenomenal change in the way the results are met, about 14% change comparing the last 2 years to the 3rd year. So these are all the two examples I would say how this 4-day work week has given impact to the companies all along the world. Now let's come back to the topic of John, who was working so heavily for about 7 days a week. He started deciding to take up this 4 days week challenge and improve it. You may ask the question, right, 5 days has come down to 4 days. What is going to change? How are they changing it? Any ideas like how they change it in the way to improve the productivity?
12 hours per day.
No, they are all decided now. We will go for a 4 days work week, and they are making some changes in their behavior. So John has made,
Taking lesser breaks.
lesser breaks. Okay, thank you, Arvind. John has decided to incorporate two important aspects. One is on working on his email habits. He decided to bifurcate the emails into the famous trio folder approach of RQ, follow up and hold, and started concentrating more on reducing his meeting attendance to the virtual meeting rather than attending them on in person, and started making priority for the work. Few changes which he made his daily behavior, which has complemented him to incorporate the improvement in his life. Rather than spending all along the week in his job, he started seeing differences in his productivity, as well as his personal life has changed so much comparing the previous scenario. With this, I think this 4 days work week would be an upcoming thing. I request the board members of this organization to think about this and share your feedback, which can take us to a way forward on this approach. That's the change I would like to communicate.
Unanimously approved.
So these are some positive changes that are happening